A reflection for Maundy, Thursday, April 9th, 2020, for Ecus Abroad. We live in a world where me is king, but our citizenship is not of this world. Brother James Kester of the Society of St. John the Evangelist wrote these words as a way of looking at the actions Jesus takes before the Last Supper. The observation he makes is always true, but our celebration of Maundy Thursday is so different for us this year. The dissonance we feel between what is happening around us here and now and how we respond to the stories we hear again this night is harsh and sobering. And on this night of all nights, we don't have the usual beloved rituals to help us remember that the anguish we feel is actually because of our belonging. Although we have neither the foot washing nor the healing of last year's Maundy Thursday service, we do have a puzzle. It is just in time for the simpler days many of us have been experiencing. In each of these holy days, Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter, the same 5 themes occur in each day's group of readings. These themes are preparation, obedience, helping people move from confusion toward faith, telling the story, and remembering. This, of course, is not rocket science. It does not strain our intellects in the least to see preparation in terms of the Passover or the Last Supper. Tell the whole congregation of Israel that on the 10th of this month, they are to take a lamb for each family, a lamb for each household. And then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was tied around him. Unless I wash you, you have no share with me. Peter's confusion about Jesus washing his feet is a bookend for the certainty and simplicity of Paul's words to the Corinthians. I received from the Lord what I also handed on to you. And in telling the story and in remembering, we place ourselves into these great stories of God moving through tragic circumstances for triumphant result. It is too much to absorb in one night, which is why we universally break this great story, our story, across several days, an entire week if you count Palm Sunday. On Maundy Thursday, after experiencing Jesus as a loving servant, we are typically left shocked and sorrowful. We watch as the nave darkens and the altar is stripped and washed. We are not yet at the pain of the cross, but we know that is coming. We have further grief this year because we usually find comfort in the silent and shocked emotions we share with fellow parishioners. What does it feel like to do it separately? Probably it feels very much like the Passover did, with each family isolated in their own home, each family selecting their lamb and preparing the meal to exact specifications. This is where obedience comes in. Each household marking the doorway and then eating in a rush, being ready to move swiftly forward. Henry Nouwen, as he always does, brings comfort here. Community, like solitude, is primarily a quality of the heart. While it remains true that we will never know what community is if we never come together in one place, community does not necessarily mean being physically together. The community of love stretches not only beyond the boundaries of countries and continents, but also beyond the boundaries of decades and centuries. Not only the awareness of those who are far away, but also those who lived long ago, can lead us into a healing, sustaining, guiding community. The space for God in community transcends all limits of time and place. In 2020, we feel this truth differently. We are not alone. We join the many across borders of time and geography who are in this world, but not of this world. This year it is the Word which captures us, reminding us, as countless before our time and place have been reminded of the miracles of both the Passover and the cross. It is the heart of Jesus we notice, beyond the washing, the breaking, the serving. It is the community that he prepared to understand. It is this small group for whom he modeled obedience. He opened his heart with them at the table that they might move past confusion into faith. And he taught them to remember always and to tell the story. As we mark this solemn night in our own houses, we can do all of these things, just as the disciples learned to do them. With a heightened understanding of our own time and place, we have a chance to live into this. There is a reason, even beyond greed, that there are no paper products at the grocery store. It is because people are terrified. Jesus tells the disciples he wants something so much better for them. What he will do in these next days will remove the threat which all humans fear most, the fear of death. But like those who walked with Jesus as he moved toward crucifixion, many do not know it yet. We typically focus on the actions of Jesus when we observe Maundy Thursday. Like Jesus, we set out towels and basins. Like Jesus, we kneel to offer ourselves. In music and in serving, we move from foot washing to the bread and wine that is our Lord. We can do some of these things at home, of course, but not all of them. Even though the priest can make communion, it is actually against the canons to do so outside of the presence of others. Shannon and I are waiting, just like you, for the time we can be at the table together. You do not know what I am doing, says Jesus to Peter and the others, but later you will understand. Tonight reminds us once more of what we have forgotten. We know we belong to the community of Jesus. That is the cause of our anguish. Little children, I am with you only a little longer. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another.